Let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself, I'm going to change, only to slip back into the same old patterns a week later? Maybe you started a new diet, a new workout, a business plan, or promised to wake up earlier, but when the excitement wore off, so did your effort. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. Motivation might get you started, but it's consistency and discipline that determine whether you finish. You see, the people who create real, lasting transformation, they don't rely on how they feel. They rely on a standard, they make a decision, and then they act on that decision whether they feel like it or not. Discipline isn't about being in the mood, it's about being committed. It's about doing what needs to be done even when no one's watching, even when it's boring, even when it's hard. Let me tell you something, the road to greatness is not sexy. It's repetition. It's showing up when your mind tells you not to. It's saying yes to progress and no to excuses day after day after day. The champions, the leaders, the high performers, they aren't superhuman. They just made a habit out of mastering the mundane. Consistency is where the real magic happens, not in the giant, dramatic breakthroughs, but in the tiny daily wins. Because those small steps, compounded over time, become unstoppable momentum. It's brushing your teeth every day, not once a month. It's showing up to the gym on the days you don't want to. It's making that one more phone call, writing that one more page, keeping that one more promise to yourself even when no one's clapping for you. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. And that bridge is built one decision at a time. When you say yes to discipline, you say yes to a version of you that you haven't even met yet, the one that doesn't settle, doesn't quit, and doesn't need outside approval to keep going. Look, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be relentless. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. You don't need to feel ready, you just need to move. Start now. Do it messy. Do it scared. Just do it again tomorrow, and again the next day. Stack those days, stack those wins. That's how you separate yourself from the average, because in the end, success doesn't go to the most talented, it goes to the most consistent. The ones who made discipline their lifestyle. So decide right now, are you going to keep negotiating with your future, or are you going to step up, lock in, and become the kind of person who finishes what they start? The power is already in you. You just have to decide. Are you going to use it, or are you going to keep waiting for a miracle that you were meant to create yourself? Let's go. Discipline is the backbone of transformation. It's the difference between wishing and achieving. Most people operate based on how they feel in the moment. If they feel tired, they skip the workout. If they feel overwhelmed, they procrastinate. If they feel uninspired, they don't follow through. But the truth is, the most successful people in the world don't wait to feel ready. They train themselves to act regardless of emotion. Discipline is doing what needs to be done long after the mood you made the decision in has faded. It's a commitment to a higher standard, one that doesn't waver when life gets uncomfortable. There's a dangerous lie in our culture that says you have to feel inspired to do something great. That's false. You don't need to feel like it, you just need to do it. When your goals matter enough, when your standards rise high enough, you stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking yourself what needs to be done. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop listening to the voice that says, I'll do it later. And you start listening to the voice that says, do it now because this is who I am. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you cast a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Each act of discipline is a signal to your identity. This is who I am. I don't quit. I don't back down. I finish what I start. And over time, those signals add up. They build internal trust, confidence, and self-respect. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe that you'll follow through, and that belief becomes the foundation for massive, lasting change. People think they need motivation to take action, but in reality, action creates motivation. Once you start, once you move, once you push past the hesitation, you create momentum, and that momentum builds. But it starts with a disciplined decision, a choice to rise above comfort and lean into purpose. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It's about aligning your behavior with your vision. It's about honoring your future more than indulging your impulses. It's about realizing that greatness isn't born from ease, it's forged in the fire of consistency and control. Discipline means doing what's right, not what's easy. And when you make that your way of life, you stop depending on outside forces to push you. You become the force. You become the one who decides, who moves, who leads regardless of the chaos around you. And in a world full of people ruled by their emotions, you become unstoppable, not because you never feel doubt, fear, or fatigue, but because you trained yourself to act anyway, and that's where power lies. Consistency is where real transformation takes place. It's not in the big moments that everyone sees, it's in the quiet, repeated actions that no one notices. Most people want change overnight. They want results without repetition. But anything worth having requires consistent effort, day in and day out. You don't become strong by going to the gym once. You don't build a business by showing up for a week. You don't change your life with a one-time burst of energy. It's the slow, steady application of effort that leads to lasting success. People often underestimate the power of small actions repeated over time. One healthy meal won't change your body, but one healthy meal every day for 6 months will. Writing one page won't finish your book, but writing a page every day will give you a manuscript. 1 hour of focused work won't build an empire, but consistent hours stacked over weeks and months will change everything. The compound effect of consistency is unstoppable. It's how momentum is built, and once momentum is on your side, everything becomes easier. The reason consistency is so powerful is because it builds identity. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're reinforcing the belief that you're someone who follows through. You start to see yourself as reliable, committed, and driven. And the more you build that identity, the harder it becomes to break that pattern. Consistency trains your mind to respect your own word. That's how trust in yourself grows, not from hype, but from history. A track record of showing up builds self-respect. It's easy to be consistent when things are exciting. But the real test is when things get boring, when progress feels slow, when no one is cheering you on. That's when most people quit. But the ones who win, the ones who truly break through, are the ones who keep going even when the process isn't glamorous. They don't need the excitement. They're driven by purpose. They're consistent because they've committed, not because it feels good every day. Consistency is also the antidote to overwhelm. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to keep showing up. Progress doesn't come from intensity, it comes from persistence. Taking one step every day will take you further than sprinting once a month. So stop chasing perfection. Start chasing repetition, build the habit, stack the days, track the progress, let the momentum build and then ride it. Because once you're consistent, you become a force that cannot be ignored. In the end, it's not the massive actions that separate the successful from the stuck. It's the consistent ones, the quiet commitment to show up, do the work, and stay the course. That's where breakthroughs are born. That's where success lives. Success doesn't belong to the most talented, it belongs to the most relentless. That's a truth that too many people ignore. Talent can give you a head start, but it's discipline and consistency that take you across the finish line. People often look at high achievers and assume they're gifted, born with something special. But if you strip it all down, what separates the winners from the rest is not what they were born with, it's how they behave when things get tough. It's how they respond when progress feels invisible, when failure knocks, when comfort tempts them to slow down. The relentless don't back down, they keep showing up, no matter what. Relentlessness is a mindset. It's the refusal to quit, even when quitting feels easier. It's waking up every day with a decision already made that no excuse is stronger than your purpose. The relentless don't depend on inspiration, they depend on commitment. They don't waste time waiting for permission or perfect conditions. They don't fear failure because failure is part of their training ground. They fall down, they get back up, They get rejected, they try again, they fail forward, faster, stronger, and smarter. The mistake most people make is assuming that if something doesn't work quickly, it means they aren't good enough. But success doesn't follow your timeline, it rewards your endurance. Those who win are not the ones who had the easiest path, but the ones who refused to stop walking it. They stayed in the game longer than anyone else. They kept refining, learning, adjusting. They treated every setback as a step forward, every challenge as an opportunity to grow sharper. Being relentless is about owning your results, all of them, no blaming. No excuses, just radical ownership. The relentless don't wait to feel ready. They create readiness through action. They don't dwell on what's missing. They focus on what's possible. They don't give energy to distractions. They lock in on the mission and pursue it with obsession. Every action they take is fueled by intention. Every choice is aligned with their highest standard, not their mood of the moment. When you stop chasing quick wins and start living like success is inevitable because you're never going to stop until you get there. Everything changes. You stop riding the roller coaster of emotion and start building from a place of stability and strength. And that kind of power, the power that comes from relentless commitment, is rare. But it's available to anyone who decides they want it badly enough. In the end, the relentless are remembered not because they were the most talented, but because they were the most determined. They are the ones who dared to keep going long after others gave up. And that's what it really takes. Not magic, not luck, just a fire that refuses to burn out. If you can light that fire and feed it every day, there's no limit to what you can become.